परम पूज्य सोना रिम्पोचे की दूरदर्शी सोच और प्रयासों से परम पावन दलाई लामा के आशीर्वाद से भारत के टेलीविजन इतिहास में पहली बार शुरू हुआ है एक टेलीविजन कार्यक्रम जो समर्पित है भगवान बुद्ध के दर्शन, ज्ञान और बौद्ध परंपराओं को। कार्यक्रम में दुनिया के तमाम बड़े बौद्ध धर्मगुरु, बौद्ध ज्योतिष शास्त्री रोज आप तक पहुंचा रहे हैं अमूल्य जानकारियां। सबसे पहले देखिए बौद्ध धर्म से जुड़ी महत्वपूर्ण जानकारियां।
पिछले कुछ एपिसोड से हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं लद्दाख में हेमिस मॉनेस्ट्री द्वारा हर साल मनाए जाने वाले मॉनेस्टिक फेस्टिवल को। लेह से 45 किलोमीटर दूर स्थित इस बेहद खूबसूरत हेमिस मॉनेस्ट्री में ये फेस्टिवल गुरु पद्म संभव की जयंती के अवसर पर मनाया जाता है। ये महोत्सव 2 दिन तक चलता है। इस महोत्सव का सबसे बड़ा आकर्षण होते हैं ये मुखौटा नृत्य। ये मुखौटा नृत्य लामाओं द्वारा पहनकर किए जाते हैं। इस नृत्य के जादू का अंदाजा आप इसी बात से लगा सकते हैं कि नृत्यों को देखने के लिए सिर्फ भारत के कोने कोने से नहीं बल्कि पूरी दुनिया के सैलानी यहाँ खींचे चले आते हैं। हेमिस मॉनेस्ट्री द्वारा आयोजित इस महोत्सव ने आज पूरी दुनिया में लद्दाख को एक अलग पहचान दिला दी है। महोत्सव के दौरान पेश किए जाने वाले ये मुखौटा नृत्य बौद्ध धर्म की धार्मिक क्रियाकलापों का ही अहम हिस्सा होते हैं।
कैसे दूर हो आपके जीवन की मुश्किलें, कैसे सवरे आपका करियर, कैसे सफल हो आपका हर काम, क्या कहते हैं आपकी किस्मत के सितारे। जानिए सटीक होने वाली बौद्ध भविष्यवाणियां।
नमस्ते टाशी दिलेक। 13 December, Monday, 8th day of the 11th lunar month. The elemental combination is earth-water, a good combination, and this brings youthfulness and happiness. Good day to enjoy parties, dressing up and playing games. The day is Thurginamgo, so specifically inauspicious for funerals. Bumtong or empty vase is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession, while facing north. The day is favorable for all, especially for people belong to dog and sheep animal sign to raise prayer or lungta flags. BT runs till 1 p.m. So in this duration, avoid performing and undergoing Tarsec therapies like moxibustion, bloodletting and golden needle therapies. 14 December Tuesday, 9th day of the 11th lunar month. Elemental combination is fire and fire. A good combination, and this brings growth and increase. Indication of receiving gifts and offers are there. The day is specifically good for doing business, planting grains, practicing generosity, and making offerings to wealth deities. But avoid surgery and Tarsec therapies like moxibustion, bloodletting, and golden needle therapies because Sexe also falls on same day. Shigi Namgo is there, so avoid performing rituals and prayers for deceased. Bumtong or empty ways is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession while facing north. The day is favorable for people belong to mouse, horse, snake, pig and sheep animal sign, and unfavorable for people belong to monkey and bird animal sign. 15th December Wednesday, 10th day of the 11th lunar month. The elemental combination is water and water. A good combination and such elements has energy that strengthens and extends one's life. Chi Ginamgo is there, thus unfavorable to start any new activities, especially public meetings and public gatherings. Bumtong or empty ways is at north direction, so avoid all important activities, especially funeral procession while facing north. The day is favorable for people belong to pig, mouse, ox, dragon and dog animal sign. On this day, do not perform Naga offerings and Naga rituals. Thank you and see you tomorrow at same time.
क्या है भगवान बुद्ध का दर्शन, बौद्ध धर्म का गूढ़ ज्ञान, कैसे मिले दुख से मुक्ति, कैसे पाए बुद्धत्व, क्या है धम्मम, क्या है संघम। ये कार्यक्रम आपको हर रोज दे रहा है ऐसे तमाम सवालों के जवाब। आज बौद्ध धर्म के प्रकांड विद्वान परम पावन दलाई लामा से जानिए भगवान बुद्ध का दर्शन और बौद्ध धर्म का सही ज्ञान।
And then ahimsa. Ahimsa, non-violence, very important because peace will not come just from, in the form of blessing from above. No. Peace we must create by ourselves. So the conflict, war, violence, actually are human creation. Of course, the nature element also sometimes acting like violence, like flood or earthquake, these things. But that is beyond our control. But some kind of human act, some major portion of our problem which we today facing, many of them our own creation. So logically, those problems which created essentially by human ourselves, we must have potential to reduce this problem, to eliminate this problem. Therefore, since the violence also kind of action, the non-violence also kind of action. So I often telling people, now 20th century, very important century, human history, but that century more or less becomes century of bloodshed. According to some historian, in 20th century, more than 200 millions of people killed through violence. So, and still, problems still there. I think many problems which we are facing at the beginning of 21st century, many problems, the traces of previous century sort of wrong also method, and also negligence about inner peace. 20th century, 19th century, I think people too much excited about science and technology, and we just sort of believe science and technology, material values bring peace. That failed. Now, peace comes from within. First, genuine peace must come through inner peace. Therefore, first, if we want real peace, we must look inward, create inner peace, create the happy thought. Then science and technology also become disposal of peaceful thought. Science and technology become disposal of hatred. They're like the September 11th event. Those people who plan these things, their mind is concerned, very intelligent, very smart. But their intelligence, their sort of, and then science and technology, guided by hatred. So that disaster is happening. So therefore, we only, you see, also relying just science and technology and the material value. I think this century may become like previous century. So therefore, now we must make every effort for all levels, not only government level or leaders level, but ourselves, people's level, particularly our younger generation. We must have clear vision. This 21st century should be century of dialogue. Whenever we face some differences and potential of conflict, we must solve that through human way. Talk, listen, their sort of, the reasons, their interest, and try to find some kind of compromise. That's the only way. I think concept of war based on a view, we should victory, others should defeat. One side victory, one side defeat. That's the old fashion of thinking. Today's world, because of ecology, because of global economy, and now every nation, every continent heavily interdependent. According to that new reality, concept of war is outdated. Destruction of your neighbor who create little problems, little inconvenience, but actually part of yourself. So destruction of your neighbor is destruction of yourself. So we should consider entire world, entire humanity as a part of we. India needs your neighboring states. Asia needs Arab, Africa, America. America also needs Asia, Arab. That's the reality. So therefore, now the strong sort of demarcation, we and they, and on that basis, you see the concept of violence and destruction of our enemy, that's outdated. Thinking these, analyze these reality, then you can develop certain conviction. Now violence is no way to solve, only through talk, through dialogue. So this century, we should make every effort to bring this century of dialogue. In that respect, India's 1,000-year-old tradition of ahimsa, tradition of religious harmony, is very relevant. And meantime, I myself consider as a messenger of ancient Indian sort of thought. So wherever I go, I always talk these two things. Ahimsa, based on karuna, that's my number one sort of as a talk, number one sort of what's the day, commitment. Number two, promotion of religious harmony. So these are India's, I mean, these thoughts not come from my sort of brain, but I learned from India's tradition. So while I really feel proud acting like a messenger of India, but at the same time, when I saw, this is some still backward thinking within the country, caste system, or some kind of little discrimination. I think these we must address very seriously. So now today, I think some of the sort of what's the problems, you see, due to these backward thinking, that also sometimes involves some political sort of what's the problems. So therefore, we must address some problem which can describe part of our tradition, but actually outdated and backward thinking. These we must remove. Recently, I was in Rishikesh and with many Indian sort of spiritual leaders and some sadhus, I told them, I'm really proud to be like messenger of this country. But within the country, still some backward things there, backward thinking, backward habit. These we must change, we must address. So that I want to share with my Indian friend. So, India, as far as thought is concerned, last, I think 3, 4, 5,000 years, I think most sophisticated philosophy, sophisticated thought is developed in this country. And sometimes I jokingly telling my Northern Indian friend, of course, I also live in Northern India, but sometimes I jokingly telling them, the South Indian brain is something very special. Look, you see, at least you see, in the past, sort of these masters who develop, you see, new sort of views, new thinking, most of them come from South India. So usually I teasing my Northern Indian friend, you see, as far as the brain is concerned, South Indian brain is more smart. I don't know. This is not a scientific sort of finding, but simply I just mentioned, I just thought like that. So in any way, that's I want to share with you. Please, Indian, about this inner development is concerned, you must feel proud.